Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
There we go. Just in time. Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Oh, all right. Stop, everybody. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. I am Richard Wilmore, and you are the audience. And I am so glad you're here today. On our 225th episode of this show, can you imagine? We've been doing this since June 10th, 2024. We're coming up on a year. And hey, in 224 episodes, how many views have we had? It's been pretty amazing. Let's take a look. Drum roll, please. Yeah, 342,852 views and downloads of this show. I thank you so much to everybody who watches every day, or like every other day, or every 3 days. However much you watch, I thank you so much. If you'd like to support the show so we can continue to bring you amazing shows like we have today with Bo Bennett, buy us a coffee, would you? At buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher. It's a great way. You get your name in the credits. Like Jenny did. Jenny so nicely bought us a coffee last week. So thank you, Jenny Milton, for that. And then you'll see her name at the credits at the end of the show. So that's pretty fun. And that could be you as well. All right, what else do I have to tell you? What did I do this weekend? Nothing. Relaxed. A ton of relaxing. Sat outside in the sun, which my dog loves. She loves to sit in the front yard. Usually she's in the backyard and can't really see anything because there's a fence. But when we sit in the front yard, she sits at the end of the driveway and just stares, like looking over her kingdom. It's very cute. So she loved that, but I didn't do anything because this weekend is very busy and I needed to rest up. My dad arrives on Thursday, and then Saturday is Kaleidoscope Fest in Waxhaw, North Carolina at the downtown park. So if you are in the area, come say hello. May 10th, which is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. A ton of stuff happening. Face painting, a scavenger hunt to win prizes, live performances, food trucks, art shows, gift markets, and me. I'll be there emceeing the event all day long, 10 to 6. So come by, say hi, get some food, get some art, get some crafts. I think there's a rumor that there's free stuff for the first 1,000 people. So I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I have my script in my little packet here that I've been looking over, and map. It's all right there, and you'll get to see all of this on Saturday. Okay, that's very exciting. I'm very excited for that. It should be fun. The last episode in season 2 of Before You Go, the podcast by, I hope it's in here. I think it's in here. By Abode, which is a nonprofit in San Antonio that houses people the last few months of their lives so they can die with dignity. And so the podcast is all about that, all about prepping, all about living life to the fullest, and also dying a happy death. So take a look at the season finale, but we'll be back at season 3 this fall. Take a look. Per usual, this happens. Hold on, I will get this for you because it's a really good. Hold on, everyone. Everyone wait. It's uploaded. It just didn't make its way there. Here we go. It's right here. And are you ready now? And here's a clip of the episode, available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. But apparently not playing. Why is it not playing, you ask? I don't know. I don't have a clue. Okay, let's try it one more time. Replace. There we go. It's here. It's there. I think it's because it. Okay, let me try this way. Okay, is it going to be here now? Let me try this, and then let me put this up. Still nothing. All right, well, we'll get that ready, and then we'll play it at the end. And then there was going to be a whole thing of me telling you, well, if you need help with your podcast, let me know. But maybe not. And maybe we shouldn't be doing this live, but we are. All right, let's get on with the show then. And because we have a great guest with Bo Bennett. My guest proves that learning can be entertaining and entertainment can make you think. Bo Bennett is the creator, writer, and producer of the animated sitcom Squat, bringing laughs to life in a fitness setting. He's also the author of Logically Fallacious, a comprehensive guide to critical thinking that makes complex ideas accessible. Who knew? Bo is here to discuss how humor and logic go hand in hand. Please welcome, I hope this works, Bo Bennett. Bo, thank you so much for being here.
You bet. Good to be here. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you because you are, I was like coming up with all these things that you do, and it sounded like I was writing your like dating profile. Like you're super smart, you're creative, you have all these things. And I was like, wait, this is not a dating show.
I like walks on the beach.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And I will probably just have to have you keep coming back because you do so many things and so many things that I don't know about. But what I want to talk about is your animated sitcom and how that came to be. The sitcom is called Squat, and you are the creator, the writer, producer, actor, all of the above. Where did this come from?
It came from actually about 40 years of going to the gym. So I started going to gyms when I was like literally like 12 years old. And I always love the atmosphere and I enjoy exercising, working out. But besides that, it's the culture that always fascinated me. And then as I matured a little bit and started studying psychology, I realized that there was a lot going on here. And as I became more interested in humor and sitcoms, I said this place, the gym in general, is a gold mine for sitcoms. I mean, the comedic material that goes on here is wonderful. And as like a amateur philosopher and a professional a social psychologist, I saw a lot of human behavior in the gym that could be looked at in an entertaining way, and that was basically the birth of Squad. So I decided to just write a pilot episode, which I did, and then I had it like professionally reworked by some Hollywood insiders or whatever, and then I actually took that and I said, okay, well, why stop here? Let's do the entire season. So I did 10 episodes and I submitted a couple to a bunch of different online, what are they called? They're the type of the places that will review your work.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like the contests. And anyways, I won like second place or runner up at the Big Apple Film Festival, which was a big honor. And that was really cool. And got some notable mentions in other places, but that kind of like put it on the map. And then from that point on, I said, okay, there's enough interest in this to take it to the next level. So I went ahead and I animated the whole thing. I worked with a whole team of actors, myself included, as one of the voices. So we animated it and voiced the whole thing and put it on YouTube for free.
Was television producer, creator, anything you ever wanted to be in life?
Creator, yeah. At least
Yeah.
some form of a creator. I've been an author for a long time, so it wasn't a big stretch to go from books to something like on TV. Uh, of course, there's a lot of adapting with a sitcom, as you know, like a 20-minute sitcom. You have to really keep people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
People get bored very quickly, so it's got to be like constant. And that was the challenge to constantly keep people like drawn in.
And you had how many episodes in the first season? 10, you said?
10 episodes, yeah.
And then what? Those 10 episodes are over, and then were you like, I'm not done here? Or like, what's the thought process once you've
Yeah.
kind of gone through that?
Well, it was, I mean, it was a long process. Those 10 episodes with the writing, the producing, the acting, the editing, the animation, it probably took about 4 years, not like full-time work 4 years, but 4 years of like on and off. So in order to do the next season, which I do have ideas for the next season, I'm going to need this to go up to the next level. So I kind of put it out there, and I'm waiting. I won't say I'm waiting for Hollywood to come knocking, but I'm waiting for enough activity and enough interest to justify the time it takes to move forward with future seasons.
There are so many people making great art out there, right? Like in great content and videos and podcast, all of these things, animated series, and so many places to put them. Why did you choose just to go to YouTube?
I would say it was more of a choice by necessity at this point.
Mm.
I honestly haven't explored all of the opportunities and possibilities, but everybody has access to YouTube. It's the biggest in the world. It's free, so we figure that's a really good place to start.
It's such a well done show. Like it definitely looks like something that was grabbed off TV and thrown on YouTube for the people to find. What did you learn over these last 4 years of making the show?
I learned a lot about I guess, starting with, as I mentioned, how to capture people's attention,
Mhm.
how to write something that doesn't quickly get ignored because you're not moving fast enough at a fast enough pace. So I guess the big lesson is people are impatient. And especially in today's world with TikTok videos, 60 seconds, 30 seconds or whatever. I mean, that's what people are like, oh, the next one, the next one, the next one. Like these just really adrenaline invoking scenes. But like sitcoms, that's not really compatible with it. You can't just constantly do things like that. There has to be story, and that was kind of the learning process. Is you do a story like an arc over the episode, and then you have like the story arc over the season, and then you have a story arc over the series. So you've got these three arcs, and from being a lifetime viewer of sitcoms and just TV in general, I kind of got a good sense of like at least what I like and what turns me off. And that's when like these story arcs aren't completed. Like you watch a full episode and it doesn't come to any kind of satisfying conclusion. Like they want you to wait to the end of the season or maybe even the end of the series, and you just get annoyed.
Creating stuff like that, there's that creative side and the artistic side of you, and then there's also that like business left brain right brain type thing when you're going in and you're doing all the parts. How did you manage to do both of those while creating the show?
I guess I've always been a full-brained person, if you want to put it that way. I've in my regular job, my other work, I'm a programmer, and it's the programmer side of me is very analytical, kind of reserved, quiet. But then I'm also, social psychologist, which is all about interacting with other people and human behavior. So I could turn it on when I want to, and I always tell my wife this, like and she sees it like going to parties, like I'm either like sitting on the couch and just reading a book or something, or I'm out like one of the most social guys in the room. And I could do that, but it's a choice. And it's also kind of tiring for me as well. I think some people have it naturally when you're kind of like the right-brained type of person, the creative, the outgoing, the social, whatever it may be. Everything comes really smoothly and naturally. For me, it is a little bit of work to turn that part on, but I can when I want. I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
It's just exhausting.
Yeah, I hear you. Yes. I take a nap after almost all these interviews when I'm done because I'm like, okay, that's plenty. Yes. Which also probably leans into why one, you've written so many, but you have what, over 12 books you've written?
Yes.
You get to kind of do both of those, right? You get to be a little solitude while you're writing them, but
Yep.
also to be able to express yourself.
Yeah, and it's a good practice. And like in some of my books, one of my most like analytical, uh, collegiate type of book, it's called Logically Fallacious. It's a book on logical fallacies. It's used by a lot of universities in the world, actually. And one of the things that makes that book so successful isn't I just didn't take like a very strict academic approach to it. I injected a lot of humor, and people have told me like this thing is hilarious. It's really good. And what's great about that is when you're not expecting humor and you find it, it makes it that
Mm,
much more funny, right?
yeah.
It's like when I did stand up comedy for a while, believe it or not, and I did the stand up comedy circuit in the Boston area for about a year, doing like local comedy clubs, and it wasn't my thing. I felt like the pressure, like you're up there, and everybody's like, "All right, be funny. Like, what do you got for me?"
Yeah.
And I think it's that kind of pressure that it just didn't sit well with me. Whereas I'm also a professional public speaker, so when I went out and I spoke to companies or I just did professional speeches, I could inject a lot of humor, and people were like rolling on the floor. They thought it was hilarious, but I could never elicit that kind of response at a comedy club. Go figure. I,
Mm.
I think it has a lot to do with the expectation, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, then I'm curious. So you did that. You said you toured doing comedy for a year. You tried it. At what point did you think, no, I'm not? This isn't for me. And did you say like I'm going to give myself so much time to figure out if this is? Because a year can be a very long time if you're not having fun doing something.
yeah, and that's the thing. I was having fun doing it, but it got to a point where it just wasn't fun anymore. Uh,
Mm,
the the audience reaction was more negative than positive, I felt. Of course, I tend to be a little bit overly critical. But I watched some of the videos that I did, and I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. They liked it, but still, it just wasn't really for me. And then after that, I did like not too long ago, I did improv. Boston has a pretty uh, large and active improv community. So I did some classes there, um, and it was fun. But again, it wasn't my thing. My thing is really comedy writing, being able to really think about it and craft something where it could be delivered by another character perfectly.
mhm.
Whereas, like I feel like when I did stand up, I could write it but I couldn't deliver it perfectly, probably because of nerves or because of whatever. I just don't look like the funny type. I don't know, whatever it is, but it worked a lot better on the page than it did coming from my mouth. So that's what I stuck to doing.
So interesting. Have you always kind of followed where your passion kind of leads you? Because it seems like you've gone in so many different areas.
Yeah, pretty much. Fortunately, I was in a position at age 29 when I sold my first company of significant value. I was in a position to I guess retire if you wanted to call it that. I didn't want to. Like that's the last thing I'd want to do is like sit back and do nothing or just go on the
Mhm.
beach or just read books. There's no way I could do that. I always want to create things, and if I can make more money doing that, then great. Even if I didn't like squat, I made squat so far with squat, but it's not about the money. Like everything I do is not about the money. It's about the process and but being in this position financially has allowed me to devote all of this time to these things these things I'm passionate about. And as mentioned, sometimes they work out but most of the time they don't. Like a lot of the things that I do, it's like, all right, that didn't work, but I'm glad that I did it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's when I was reading about you and you said, I've started a lot of businesses. Some of them were great and some of them were not great, but I still love that like you keep going, that it doesn't, like, I'm sure there's disappointment when something doesn't work out how you want it to, but that it doesn't stop you. I think that's really inspiring.
Yeah, and after like let's call it being disappointed for so many times, that sting hurt a lot less. So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
say that because I don't see it as disappointment. Like when something works out, I'm like, all right, that's the way it is. That it didn't work out. Now I know that that's not working out. Good. I learned something new. That's not going to work, or I don't enjoy
Yeah.
that, or whatever. Push it aside. And now I could focus my time on something that will work, something that has potential, and keep on improving that way. Keep the things that are good, throw away the things that aren't good. I think people in general, and this is just like a little life lesson, people in general are too critical of themselves and too afraid of failure. But it's like such a huge part of success. I mean, a huge part. And it's okay. It's not about how many times you fail. It's about how many times you win and how big
Yeah.
those wins are. So you just got to keep on, throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, essentially.
Mm. What do you love most about your life right now?
Freedom, I guess. I tell people one of the best things about my life is that I was here in my house with my kids from the time they were born to the time they moved away. My son's graduating college here now, but like every day, like we have neighbors that got in the car at 6 a.m., went down to Boston, went down in the city, worked in financial district or whatever, came back at like 7 o'clock at night, had dinner with his kids if he was lucky, like if the kids didn't have a lot of homework, and then everybody went to bed. And then hopefully on the weekend, maybe he got to see him. I can't imagine living that kind of life and missing my kids grow up. I mean, it's such an amazing thing. And I'm glad I was there like pretty much every minute of it.
Yeah, not a bad life, right?
Mm.
What is the best way that people can follow you and connect with you and support you?
Well, I have two different websites. One is a business website where you can see all the things I'm up to and all the things I do, and that's called archieboy.com. And the other is my personal website where you could see some of the books that I've written, and you could contact me. You see my contact information on there. And that's my name, bobennett.com, Bennett.
Perfect. And Squat is on YouTube, available now. Go
Yes.
watch it so we can
I,
get a season 2.
I do want to interject that if you just type squat, you're going to get 1,000 videos of how to do squats. So I actually made a domain called squatspotfitness.com because that's the name of the fitness
Perfect.
center. Squatspotfitness.com. That goes directly to the YouTube channel.
Okay, good. So go there instead. Bo, thank you so much for being here.
You bet. It was good talking to you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it so much. We're going to take a break and we'll be back after this. Don't go away. Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well-being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co.